Before this video starts, thank you guys for getting me to 350 subscribers. That's an amazing number. We're only 50 away from 400 and 150 away from the ever elusive 500. That's very, very awesome. That 3 years ago I started making YouTube videos, and now, man, look how far I've come. So thank you guys so very much, and hopefully we will push to 500, 1,000, and beyond. So let's start with the video. Hey guys, this is Luke again, and this video is going to be kind of difficult for me to make. It is going to be kind of hard because I really wanted to discuss this, and I just needed to get off my chest. So unfortunately, my love for Ninjago has just been dying as of late, and I just haven't been invested in it as I once was. And it's heartbreaking considering I was like a fan for the longest time. I'm an OG, and it's terrible, man, to know that you're very close to saying goodbye to something you love. Is really, really upsetting. Um, yeah, mostly because I just don't know if I feel comfortable in this community after, you know, me deactivating my Twitter, and because that's where a lot of the Ninjago fans are on Twitter, and I just don't feel comfortable there anymore. So there's that. I still have I'm still good on Discord and Instagram though. Um, well, um, also because the show's content itself is just not as interesting as it once was. But I do believe there's a reason for that. And I think the overall reason is that it's me. It's all on me, really, because I'm just growing up. I'm growing up. And unfortunately, when you grow up, the things you loved as a child just are not interesting anymore. And you want to just do or watch something else. And I feared that might come to Ninjago for me because I've watched it for about 10 years, and just to not be interested anymore at 18 years old. Now, yes, I know there are some people who are older than me and still like the show, and that's completely fine. But I do think it's kind of like with me and trick or treating. I kind of stopped trick or treating around when I turned 12 because Halloween is the day before my birthday. So I because I knew that I would be turning 13 the next day, and I just thought I was too old at that point to trick or treat once I turned 13. And now I'm thinking maybe I might be a bit too old to watch the show anymore or to talk about the show anymore. So I'll do my best to keep talking about it, but there is no guarantee that I will stay. So if I decide to stop making Ninjago content altogether, it's been a wonderful ride. I will absolutely miss it, but who knows? I may come back. Um, and just because I won't make Ninjago content anymore does not mean that I will stop making content altogether, because I love making videos. Videos are very fun to make. Um, there are just some days where you just don't feel like a Ninjago fan. There are some days where you do. And this is one of those days where I definitely did not feel like a fan at all. I felt more like just a random person watching a random show. Um, so yeah. Um, I'm trying to think of something else. And there's just been this issue in my mind about how I hate how divided this community is. Not just it, if it's not divided like between seasons, or it has nothing to do with Ninjago seasons. It's about how we want Ninjago to be. and it's a battle between the positive people, the overly positive people who really do not care what Ninjago they whatever the writers bring to Ninjago as long as they get it, and the ones who want Ninjago to be at its best, to be at its peak, and to actually try and not spit out corny crap just for the sake of, pleasing those types of people. Um I was gonna make a full-fledged video on the topic, but I'm just gonna fully discuss it here just to because I'm already talking right now. So basically, if you don't know why exactly I took down my Twitter account, well, one, because I just couldn't stand the drama, but two, because of a certain incident. Basically, I called out the Marvelous Jan. If you know who the Marvelous Jan is, then I don't need to fill in the blanks. But if you do know, he's one of the biggest Ninjago supporters out there. Everyone knows him as the optimistic guy, and well, he used to be my friend, but we kind of parted ways and drifted apart. But I basically said that I said he was too positive. And there were some people that agreed with me, but there were definitely a lot more people who disagreed and said that, oh, Jan is a great influence. You're not a good influence. You suck and stuff like that. I took that as bullying. It brought me to a dark phase of my life where I was bullied. So to see that happening again, just with online messaging, it's just like, wow, wow. Now, I do admit that I probably should have worded what I said a lot better, but but the intent was to try and bring balance because life always exists in a balance. There's always going to be good stuff and bad stuff. There's always going to be right stuff and wrong stuff. Um, Opposites exist for a reason. Yin yang exists for a reason. Um, and I feel like this community is divided between the positive people and the critical people. The positive people, as I said, they don't really care that about what content they get as long as they find that it's fun. This story and the characters don't really matter to them as much as the critical people. They just watch it to have fun, which all in all isn't a bad thing. But then there are the critical people who kind of were, I think, at the time when they were younger or when they first watched a season, were fun. But when they rewatched it, they kind of see a lot of the flaws that it does have. Now, obviously, every show is going to have a flaw. Every show is going to have it, whether you like it or not. And it's okay to point out some stuff, but it is not okay to just blindly either A, be just super nitpicky um, to the point where people question if you think you even like the show, which was kind of happened because there was one comment that said that this fan base has some of the most negative people in it, and it's almost like they hate what they love, which that comment kind of really stuck to me. And um, but you also there's extremes to both sides. The overly critical means are basically blindly hating, as that person said. It is blind hate. But there's also but I do think blind positivity also exists where they just praise everything and everything, even though the stuff is disliked a lot by fans. Now, obviously, you could say, well, that's just their opinion. Well, yeah, it is their opinion, but it is a little suspicious that they like something that most fans don't. Now, to be fair, I'm no exemption from this. I'm one of those few people who thinks Kai Powerless arc in season 11 makes overall sense. So, yeah, there's that. And one of those few people who thinks Hands of Time is one of the better seasons in the series. So, there you have it. Yeah, it's basically this divide that's happening, and I really didn't like it. And when I talked with a friend about this, it made me think that I don't want to be part of the extremes. It's kind of like the Democrats and the Republicans. they're both extreme and crazy in their own separate ways, and they're going to eventually become so radicalized nobody wants to be a part of their side anymore. And that's what I don't want. I don't want both sides to become so crazy that basically the entire fandom goes crazy. So what I propose is that one person, or at least the critical side, the analysts, talk with someone who is on the positive side, who doesn't really care about Ninjago. Just talk to them about this issue, and I don't want you to convince them. I don't want you to force them to, because it's their response, their choice. Sorry, yeah, wrong words. It's their choice. But I do think that the extremely critical people should be less critical, but the overly positive people should not be as positive. Not everything is all sunshine and rainbows, and not everything is all rainstorms and rain and showers. There's definitely some light at the end of the tunnel, and there's definitely some dark at the end of the tunnel. There balance exists for a reason. That's what Ninjago taught us, is that there's always a balance between the light versus the dark, the good versus the evil. And even they kind of incorporate that with technology, people and technology. You see? So that's what I really want the community to be. I want it to be balanced, basically, where even though the views of the show may be different, they could still talk it as if they were Ninjago fans. Now, this is something that this is probably going to be one of the farthest reaches I've ever have, but I do propose the idea. I do propose the idea. So if you know a person who is overly critical about Ninjago or overly positive about it, talk with them about this issue, and talk with them how that they are unintentionally letting the divide happen by not by basically being overly positive or overly negative about a show they love. Being critical of something is not hating on it, but being blind but hating on it for no reason is. It's the same thing goes with positivity. There I I remember these two tweets that stuck out to me before I deactivated my account. And one of them is a friend of mine, and he said that liking something is okay, but ignoring its flaws and pretending like they don't exist isn't. That's what I want the positive guys, to understand, that there are flaws. And I'm pretty sure they do understand it. They just don't like to acknowledge that there are flaws. And I want them to acknowledge them, basically. And for the critics side, I would say that maybe you, because I felt like I kind of lost my way with as being a fan. I kind of became the Ninjago critic and not the Ninjago fan. You know, I feel like basically there's going to be some blend of both between a critic and a fan, and that's what I was planning to do, is just to watch some. If you're a critic and you're overly critical of Ninjago, just watch a Ninjago episode. Don't think about the plot. Don't think about the characters. Just let it flow. Let it flow right through your body, kind of like water, and just enjoy whatever it shows. That's the experience that a fan has. A critic has a completely different mindset and a completely different experience. I know this. So, because whenever I watched season 13 for the first time, I felt like the fan. But whenever I watched it for the second time, I felt like the critic, basically. Um, so that's what I really want. This divide I've seen, you know, this divide I noticed. And the sad part about me is that I don't think very many people in this community notice that there is a divide. They're just blatantly hating on the other side for very little reason at all, and it's heartbreaking to me, man. So please just get along with each other, just get along. And just if you like Ninjago, if you like Ninjago and you don't care about the plot, fine. If you do care about the plot, fine. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you care about the plot or not. As long as you like, as long as you're having fun with it, that's what matters. And no, I'm not blatantly supporting the positive side. Yes, having fun is the point of Ninjago, but but you can't discredit the story and the characters as well. Sorry. Whew. It feels so good to get that off my chest. It feels extremely good. But yeah, my hopefully I will go through a change and hopefully I'll become a bit more lighthearted because I feel like I've been leaning towards more onto the extreme end of the critic side, and I feel like I need to find my way again and kind of be in the middle again, where I'm both a fan and a critic, basically. And that's what I want the Ninjago fandom to be. I don't want it to be just split apart because you know what they say: divided we fall, united we stand. And that's what I want us to do. I want us to stand. I don't want us to divide and just hate each other. I want us to love each other. Don't take that out of context. I want us to love each other and be united because that's the whole point of the Destiny mural from season 10 is that it was unity. It was straight up unity. And hopefully I can find my way again and hopefully whoever hopefully guys in the comments can uh figure this out and realize it too. But anyways, I hope you guys like this video, even though it was a weird video. I hope you guys give it that thumbs up, subscribe to this channel by clicking that red subscribe button, and click on the notification bell to see every video that I will upload. And I'll see you folks in the next video. Bye bye.